In a world, 4 friends, 1 mission.
Mikey, what are you doing?
I'm doing the thing for the podcast.
It's not that hard, bud.
Dude, just say the name.
Fine. It's the Freedom Friends podcast.
Well, welcome to another master debate.
Wow, you fucked that all up.
I don't usually do it. I usually
Well, are you ready?
Somebody else does it.
All right, I
Asks
got
me a
you.
question. I answer it.
It's Friday.
Okay,
We're sitting in a V for victory.
there we go.
And we've got sticks in our hands and drinks on the table. That can only mean one thing. What are we about to do?
See, this is where I chime in. This is what I'm used to. We're about to masturbate, boys.
Hey!
That's it.
This is time for the Freedom Friends Master Debate, where Justin's going to give us a problem that we didn't know existed, and we're going to give you a solution that makes it worse.
Yeah.
It's brought to you by warfightertobacco.com. If you go over there and use the code FTFO, you'll get 15% off your order, which you can also very shortly get these very handsome cocktail glasses. So you too can drink like a gentleman.
Or a belligerent asshole.
Or either way.
The choice is yours. We don't judge.
You can also go over to owellness.us. Great friends of the show, and I am currently slathered in their product. I'm trying to make sure my shirt doesn't stick to me, actually. So, and use the code FreedomFriends25 over there for a quarter off your order. Icy Tech Coolers, you can use the code FreedomFriends10, get 10% off your order over there for those who get it. And grillyourassoff.com/freedomfriendspodcast, or you can follow the link in the affiliate. If you go over there and get some spices for your meat and rub your meat generously with those spices, you get a little discount, and we get a little piece of that cheddar when you're spending it over there. So we highly encourage you to buy your spice. And other than that, Justin, what do you got for us?
All right, boys.
All right, boys.
So I wanna hear y'all give some advice today. So I want to know, what is one piece of advice?
Don't run with scissors.
Don't scissor with the runs.
Hey, what is one piece of advice that you would give to a new gun owner?
Don't spit into the wind.
Is this pre or post purchase?
Post purchase, someone that just bought a new firearm. What is one piece of advice?
Drop
that you
your
have for
mag
them?
before you rack the slide.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Well, unless you're trying to chamber around. You have to
But
qualify.
I wasn't
this.
talking about that.
I know. They don't. They might not know that. They're a new gun owner, John.
But that's what. That's it. The piece of it. Drop your mag before you rack the slide.
If you're trying to empty the gun.
If you're doing anything else besides loading the gun.
Yes, well, that's a good qualifying statement.
But just in general, it's a good.
But what if
piece
they
of
thought that
information.
advice was for loading the gun?
Well, then they'd learn. But it'd be a safe learning experience for them.
Except they got shot by the other guy.
If they're
that's another good.
that's
piece
like
of advice.
15 steps ahead.
If the first time you're pulling your gun out is while you're in a gunfight,
You're going to lose.
yeah.
Yeah.
Drop the mag before you rack the slide again. Best piece of advice.
Best piece of advice I have for you: there is no such thing as enough training.
Ooh, very good.
You will never be good enough with that gun that you can't learn something else.
And learn who is teaching you.
Yeah, vet your
Yeah,
instructors.
vet your instructors. Yeah.
Also, assuming that you didn't buy an absolute piece of shit. If you're firing that thing and it sucks, it's probably you.
Yeah. Post-purchase.
Being facetious, stay the fuck off the internet. There is next to no good information.
Yeah, those
For
forums
new
are all
gun
going to
owners?
convince you that whatever you bought is the worst thing that
Oh,
you
yeah.
could have bought,
Absolutely.
and that there's something better. And what you don't know is that that's frickin' Jim Bob
Yeah.
that, you know,
With the Cheeto stain keyboard.
that
Yeah.
doesn't own anything, but he
Yeah.
read a bunch of other articles.
Oh, absolutely.
I think
So now he's going to tell you all
the
about it.
best piece of advice for a new gun owner that's never had firearms before and already made the purchase is go get 500 rounds of ammunition. Go shoot all of them. I don't care if it's one day at the range, if it's 5 months at the range. Do that before you do anything else.
Yeah.
Get proficient with shooting that firearm before you even start looking into getting classes. I mean, obviously do your basics, learn how to load, shoot, aim, like that kind of shit. But don't take any advice. Don't change anything of what you're doing until you put rounds down that gun and then work on the things that you're weak at. Don't try to be like, well, I'm going to shoot like fucking Jerry Michalek.
No, you're not.
Like that dude's been shooting for fucking 400 years. Like he shoots more rounds a year than a lot of these small manufacturers make.
Jerry puts more rounds downrange in a day of practice than I probably have in the last 12 months.
Yeah.
So,
like Freeman texted me the same thing I was going to say. But, like, I think the advice needs to come before you buy the gun.
yeah, it's hard post-purchase.
Go to the range, take the concealed carry course, borrow the instructor's gun, right? And then go and rent a couple.
Yeah. Take an intro to fucking pistol class.
Because I was going to say, the other thing I was going to
say
say was buy from a gun store and not from like
I don't know.
a sporting goods store.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So-
And the reason I say that is a gun store will actually, at a bare minimum, will show you how the gun cycles. They will show you where everything is on it. Like
the downfall of most gun stores is I literally just had this conversation a couple weeks ago at Cigar Lounge. It was with Jim and Julie. And another customer was in there and he was asking about firearms. I'm like, God fucking damn it. Like everywhere I fucking go, you know?
Hey, John,
right?
You wanna talk about guns?
Yeah, let's do it. We're doing it right now. We might as well. But it was just like, so I was like, okay, what guns do you have? And he told me, and I was like, well, which ones do you shoot? And he told me, and he goes, well, which one would be the best pistol for me to get next? And so I told him, I was like, based off what you already have, I was like, you have multiple different firearms that have multiple different grip angles, and you're a very new shooter. I was like, so
Yeet Cannon
which
2.0.
one of those points correctly for you? And he's like, what? And I'm like, when you put it up in front of you like you're going to shoot, but do it with your eyes closed, open your eyes, or your sights lined up. Well, I don't know. I never did that. Okay. So my advice to you is to go into a gun store. Don't listen to anything anybody in there says. Pick up every fucking pistol they have on the wall and see which one points best for you. And that's going to be the one that you start with. And then once you get proficient with that, then you can go to whatever else and change grip angles and different manufacturers and different models and whatever you want. But that's going to be the easiest for you to shoot up front.
I had that big issue, that exact point, actually. So I grew up firing, so it's the Beretta 92F, but it's the M9.
Yeah.
1911s, all that. Very similar grip angles and everything.
Right.
And then I got into internal striker weapons, which it's a completely different grip. So for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, Glocks, Springfields, all the ones that no external hammer. It's a very different grip angle and they behave differently.
Yeah. Triggers are different.
And I went from, I am a decent shot on a good day. I'm not going to compete with everybody else at this table, to be honest with you, but I'm a decent shot. If I need to put a round into something, I can do it. Is every time I go out, is it going to be this tiny little group and it's all perfect? No, I'm not that good of a shot, but I'm proficient. I'm confident with my weapon. But that grip angle thing that you're talking about, it will fuck you up. And if your weapons are all over the place and you're not intimately familiar with every single one of those weapons.
Well, where that comes into place is not so much your first shot, because your first shot, you're taking your time a little bit more. You're aiming,
you're all calm,
right?
Yeah,
you're manipulating your grip angle. But if you want a quicker follow-on shot, if it doesn't have a natural point, like John was saying, then you're going to come back and it's going to be, and then you're going to have to between each shot, you're going to have to make that adjustment where, like, you look at these competition guns, right? You spend $3-4 grand on them. Well, they have no recoil and they kick straight back.
Yeah.
And you're right back on target.
There's no
right?
muzzle flip.
Yeah. But imagine if it came straight back, but your grip angle's fucked up. You'd have to fucking fix it each time, right?
Well, that's like you and I've had that conversation with Glocks before. Like Glocks just don't point correctly for you.
No, they don't. Yeah.
But essentially with that guy in the cigar lounge, like I asked him probably, I don't know, 6 or 7 questions just to kind of figure out what he's using them for, what he's comfortable with, what he has experience with previous, and things like that. And he goes, talking to you for 5 minutes is I've gained more knowledge than every single time I've gone into a gun store in San Antonio.
Well, gun store. Look, I said buy from a gun store, but ultimately, gun stores want to make a sale.
Well,
they're still a store.
The majority of the people that work at gun stores will sell you what they like.
Yeah.
And it's not what's good for you. And it's not what's good in general.
It doesn't necessarily fit your budget. The problem is too, like the gun store clerk you're talking to, right? He might not be able to afford the fucking $1,500 gun that would be optimal for you. You might be able to afford a fucking $4,500 gun. So budget, you have to, like, what do you want to spend is like the first fucking question.
Yeah. What's your budget?
Because there's like, you could take 10 guns and put them in budget. You could take 10 guns and put them in a step above that. And then, so knowing what you want to spend and knowing what your end use is for, right? Like, I don't know how many times people came in and be like, I was told I need to carry a fucking Glock
40,
a Glock 20
cal.
for a concealed carry,
Like
I
was told,
or the farmer that brings his wife in and hands out, the 38 or the 357 snub nose.
Yeah,
because everybody needs a 642 air weight for their first pistol, for their 65-year-old wife.
I would also say before you go buy, don't outbuy your skill level. Don't buy the cheapest thing you can.
I disagree.
Don't buy the cheapest thing you can find.
Buy once, cry once.
I disagree. Outbuy your skill
buy
level.
decent. But if I get it, the John Wick movies are awesome, and that STI that he carries around in there is fucking great. That I think they're $5,000 now.
Yeah,
to get a base
between three and 4,200, depending on the model.
If you would be comfortable spending $400, spend $600, and you'll get a way better gun.
Oh yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like buy like one grade up. You don't need to buy a staccato as your first pistol. Like that just doesn't need to happen.
Yeah. Like you're not going to buy a 1911 for under $1,000 usually.
You're not. I would also tell you don't buy a 1911.
Not for probably not for your first, but
and definitely not under $1,000.
Not under $1,000. There are ones out there. I get it. Like Taurus makes one, I think, for like $900. Don't buy that weapon.
No, they go bang. It's fine.
You can get Tesis right now, and Tesis are Turkish based. They've been making pretty solid semi-auto 1911s for a while.
Pretty much anytime anybody tells me it came out of Turkey, I'm like, yeah, sold.
Yeah.
Like I trust Turkish guns.
They've come out with good guns.
Yeah, every time.
They make great shotguns.
That striker fired one. What's that? The fucking
Canik.
The
Canik.
Yeah.
Canik has
that TP9.
They have the best.
God, I've come so close to buying that thing so many damn times.
The TP9 SF. I think
they're saying that TP9 SF out of the box, you do nothing. You take it out, you rack it, you can go compete with it. Like go to a 3-gun and you're good to go.
I did. I ran a TP9 SF in USPSA leagues at Big Shots,
and they're like $495.
Yeah. Fuck, they're
at like Academy. Like they're not hard to find. No. Everybody's carrying parts for them now. Like they're everywhere.
That's the beauty of it, though, is you don't really need parts because even their top of the line, like their SFX matches, they're already RMR cut. They've got adapter plates built into them, ready to rock and roll. They've got a match grade barrel, a match grade trigger.
Yeah, they're great.
Extendable mag release. They've got a jet funnel essentially for a magwell. And you're talking about a pistol that off the shelf is about $700,
and that's for the top of the line version. Like
that's pretty much.
So they're great.
Not a good concealed carry gun.
Not a good concealed carry gun.
These are things you need to know.
I concealed carry a $349 handgun.
One of my favorite conversations.
I also go once a quarter and cycle it. I make sure it's good to go.
Yeah.
But it's a single stack. It's a subcompact, or it's a compact. I have a subcompact, but I don't like it very much.
One of my favorite conversations when it came to calibers is actually with Scott.
I love this
because until some of the newer firearms came out, Scott used to carry Glock 42, which is a 380.
Yeah.
And it's small and concealable, and it'll do what it needs to get done. And people will be like, oh, you carry a 380? That's not going to fucking do anything, blah, blah, blah. And Scott would be like, hey, go stand fucking 35 yards away.
I said 100 yards. Let me shoot at you.
Well, either way, whatever the distance is, let me shoot at you. And every single person was like, no, I'm good. Yeah. Thanks. No.
That's the thing is that a 22 would do the job if you know where to put the shot.
Well, that's it. You're like, it doesn't have stopping power and blah, blah, blah. Like, fuck.
The only issue I have with
those are internet shooters.
A 22 as a self-defense weapon is it's not reliable.
Yeah.
Like you're always
that's
gonna
my
have
only
a
thing
malfunction.
is that one of them's going to go bad. Yeah. Some round and it's going to go bad.
But like recoil wise, like 22 would be
That's
kind of
great.
fun because you could fucking.
My
I
buddy
just
that
wish there were
owns
30
the,
round 22 pistol mags. You know what I mean? Like,
My buddy that owns the brewery,
That are concealable.
yeah.
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago, my buddy that owns the brewery had to let somebody go. And he was like, hey, man, I don't have anything, but I think I really just want some trigger therapy. Like, I just want to go put holes in paper, have things go bang. And I was like, I got you. Don't worry about it. And so I packed up 2 bags, enough spread to get everything. But I took that 22 I bought from you.
Yeah.
The bolt action.
Mm-hmm.
There was 10 rounds in that little rotary, and I think 2 of them didn't fire because
Yeah.
it's 22 rim fire, and that's what it does. And it's a blast. I love shooting that gun because you can just focus on all of your principles, and you don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to worry about the bang. You don't have to worry about anything. If you are going to go to the range, the other piece of advice that I will give you after you bought and you're going to go to the range and practice, buy good ear pro. Don't use little squishy go in your ear shit. Just go buy razors and fucking put a battery in them so you can still talk to your buddy that you're there with, or you can still hear what's going on around you. Wear muffs. Like, just so if you bought a $600 gun, prepare to spend another, what are they, $80?
Yeah. Something like that.
How much are the walkers, the razor? Like $80.
Yeah, I want to say they're like 50 or 60.
$50, whatever the
honestly.
fuck they are.
Yeah.
You get them on Amazon.
I
Next
won't
day
shoot on
delivery.
anything else.
Yeah.
Sig made those earbuds that I'm kind of interested in trying out because they're
No.
supposed to be really good. Problem is I can't get my damn AirPods to stay in my ears, let alone like I don't know what it is about my ear canals, but anything that's like bud version, I can't fucking use them. It's awful. But just go buy the fucking walkers and just do that.
Firearms in general is a really, really, really deep rabbit hole. Except it's not just one hole. You have
Everything around
pistols, which is a whole different rabbit hole, and then you have optic, ready pistols. And then if you add a light to it, it changes a lot of things. And if you get into rifles, there's a difference between semi-auto and bolt action, and those rabbit holes go fucking deep.
And don't even get Scott started on optics.
Well, and then you get an optic rabbit hole, and then you have ammo, whether it's factory or if it's hand loads or if it's reman. Like, there is so much about firearms, and when you get into it, it's very overwhelming. There's an ungodly amount of information. The majority of it's not correct on the internet. There's a million YouTube channels of some guy in his mom's basement that shot himself once and now wants to say about all of his fucking safety tricks, and he's an expert now because he's been down that road before. And
just remember, if you turn it sideways, that's the kill shot.
But then you have the opposite side of the spectrum where you have like Lucas from T-Rex Arms.
I like that guy.
Who trains like a motherfucker and can shoot. And he's very practical. And people make fun of him. Oh, he's high speed. Look at him wearing all of his gear and blah, 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 and all this shit. And he's sprinting back and forth and blah, blah. Can you do that? Can you do what he does? And the time that he does it in is
biggest thing I like about him is
it.
that what you're talking about, he'll be full kit and he'll do a 100-yard sprint.
Yeah.
And then still put a 1-inch grouping on target because he's trained with high heart rate and quick setup and everything, but he understands his weapons.
That is a prime example of like, if you want information, he gives out a lot of information. It's going to be 15 miles above your level of where you're at right now.
He's got some beginner shit too that you can go watch.
You know what? As a sniper in the military, the biggest lesson I learned.
Put your dick away, sir.
The biggest lesson I learned from being a sniper in the Army was like they gave us a shitty rifle. For the most part, it was shitty. They gave us a shitty caliber.
Are you telling me that mil spec isn't awesome?
Most of the time it was shitty, right? But in the Army, they gave us one rifle. They gave us one bullet, one round that was like you didn't, there wasn't like choices, right? You had a 175, a fucking M118 LR. That's what you were issued. That's what you shot. And I shot so many of those fucking rounds. I knew exactly what they were going to do.
Yeah.
Don't go down the rabbit hole of buying 500 calibers and 500 different guns and thinking you're going to be good at any of them. Pick one goddamn thing and fucking use it and learn it.
Get really good at it.
And be really good at it.
That goes back to what you were saying with
the
500
Army
rounds.
gave me shit. They gave me a shit optic. They gave me a shit rifle and shit ammo.
That's true.
Right? Right now, I have way better rifles 100 times better optics,
But you also
and 1,000 times better ammo.
you also have that same rifle you carried in the military
I do,
in the
but-
arms room.
Yeah, no, it's in my office as a decoration piece.
Yeah, but I
That's
guarantee.
it, and that's
but
where I was going with it.
Like, I'll never
guarantee
use the
you-
fucking
I
thing.
guarantee you, if the zombie apocalypse happened and all I could hand you was that shitty rifle, you'd be more than proficient because you're familiar.
The problem is I don't have any of the old ammo I was issued. That's what would fuck me. I was like, no, it should be this, and it's
But
not.
it does come back. It comes down to a proficiency thing. If you want to
No,
be
it
good
does.
with your weapon,
Yeah.
regardless of what you bought, and all it does is sit in your drawer,
Yeah.
and then you want to know why you're no good at it,
And
it's
shooting,
because you're not doing it. Like, you're not out fucking shooting. I've been shooting a long time. Like, I grew up in an army household. I've got a dad who's a gun fanatic. Like, started shooting when I was 4. I've been shooting a long time. The only reason I'm decent with any of my weapons is the sheer amount of time I've been behind the weapon.
Yeah.
And that's all it boils down to. It
And
doesn't matter what you bought.
There was like 3 years in the military where I had, God, between 10 and 20,000 rounds logged in a bolt action rifle. Like, I knew that fucking caliber like crazy, right? You know, like John and I, what do we have? Like 4 different guns that use the same caliber now
for a reason.
for a reason, right? We buy one ammo
Yeah.
and we have, a heavy long range gun. We have a lightweight hunting rifle.
Yep.
You have a semi-auto that
Right.
shoots the same thing,
But
right?
the common denominator across the board with the majority of those firearms is
Optics and ballistics and ammo.
in barrel length.
Yeah.
We're running the same round
Through the same barrel length.
through the same barrel length with
the same optic.
almost identical optics, same scope over bore, and all that does is minimize the change of where that round impacts versus where you're aiming.
You deleted variables,
yeah.
which is what it comes down to.
Try it. Now each one of those guns shoots differently.
Yeah.
I can't use the data from one gun and put it on a different one.
Well,
And
you could to a certain extent.
it would get me in the ballpark,
Yeah.
but I couldn't shoot it as accurate as I could if I used the data from its own gun.
Right. Instead of hitting a dime at 300, you're going to hit a fucking
Quarter.
$10 bill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still hitting the target.
Yeah.
I'm just not as pinpoint as
Yeah.
as these guns are built to be.
So that actually comes into the question of why do people chase the dime strike, the super tight grouping?
Well, the tighter your group, it means the less variable. Like, so
I know the answer. I just
Yeah.
want to point it out. I just want to put it out there as to why people talk about like
Because-
sub MOA or dime strike or
one is like, here, I'll go back to the comment I made earlier. I think you should buy above your skill level. And the reason for that is, right, if I have a rifle that can shoot, like I could probably shoot 5 shots in a dime at 200 yards, right? It's fucking accurate rifle. If I go to the range tomorrow and I don't do that, I 100% know it's me.
Right.
Not my rifle.
Right.
Now, if you buy if I grab a fucking, I don't know, a Ruger American off the shelf and I fucking let Shields put the scope on and I go to the range and I can't figure out why I'm not shooting a dime. Well, you'll never figure it out because the rifle, if it's shooting, say, a 2-inch group, right? And you're shooting, say, the best you can do at that time is a 2 minute of angle, right? So you have a 2 minute of angle and a 2 minute of angle. Now you're at 4 minutes of angle, and then your ammo's shitty. So then it's only capable of 2 minutes. So now you're at a combined 8 minutes of fucking angle, and you can't figure that gun sucks. Well, it does suck because you're using shitty ammo, shitty optics, shitty scope
Right.
mounts, and
that's
right?
why when
And a
we
shitty
talk
rifle.
about
And then your ability, you'll never get better.
That's
because
why
you're chasing errors and you're not
when
figuring
we talk
out
about
how you're shooting.
this weapon does sub MOA.
Right.
The weapon does.
Mhm.
We know the weapon does sub MOA. It comes down to the shooter.
Yeah.
You can make shooter corrections.
But you can't learn on a gun that's not capable to
Right.
your ability.
Now, I'm not
Right.
saying buy the cheapest thing you can find. What I'm saying is buy like a step above where you're at and shoot into the gun.
Yeah.
Don't-
I think for pistols it's different, probably.
Even in rifles.
I don't know.
I mean, there's some stuff out there. Like, I know some of the weapons you have. I'm a decent shot. I could never maximize the
You
potential
could.
of
You
some
could.
of.
I could have you
With
shoot in the groups with
training.
in an afternoon.
Yeah.
But that comes with training. It comes with one of you two. When my wife and Mikey's wife went to the competition,
Oh yeah.
we built good rifles.
Right.
They still needed people there.
Yeah.
They still needed
dime
people
strike.
there though, because we put you behind both rifles before the girls ever got behind them, and we did that so that we knew the rifle was stable. Now the rifle is as good as we can get it.
Yeah.
Now we have to work on the shooter, because if you're not good enough and the rifle is, you can shoot into the rifle. You can become good enough for the rifle.
Right.
You can't.
But you're only.
But if the rifle's fucked up and you're fucked up, or the pistol's fucked up and you're fucked up.
Well, like if I get down behind, I can get off the range shooting a fucking dime size at 200 with my rifle, and I get down behind a fucking shitty rifle. I'm only going to shoot a 2-inch group or a 3-inch group.
Right.
And it doesn't even have to be a shitty rifle. You can have a good rifle and shitty ammo.
Yes. Yeah.
And I've experienced this multiple times on hunts with guys.
Well, you want to see that. You take a quarter, eighth minute gun and you shoot ball ammo through it.
Right.
And you're only getting a 2-inch group. You're like, well,
but it's I mean, even if it's not a competition ready gun, you know, I've sat at ranches with veterans that brought their own firearms, and they're not horrible guns. They're not competition guns.
Right.
You know, they're accurate guns. They'll shoot an inch or 2-inch group at 100 yards. No questions asked. And we're trying to get these guys zeroed and get them on paper so they can go shoot an animal accurately and ethically. And they can't hold a group under 8-10 inches. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
We went through that at the deer hunt that I went on with with Brandon and Gorman, because he had that Savage 10.
Post buy is, what the fuck are you doing with it? Is it a defense weapon? Or is it, like you said, is it a hunting weapon?
But the thing is you take out the variable of the shooter, right? So you have this firearm, you have this ammo, and then you have the guy behind it. So you have 3 completely different variables that all have to mesh together in order to get this gun accurate.
right.
Right. So you take out one of the variables to see, okay, what's the easiest variable to remove? The shooter. Let's put somebody in that has more experience behind the trigger, behind a gun, and see if they can shoot this firearm better than what this other person was. And if they can't, or if they can, but it's not a drastic improvement, then you have your 2 other variables you have to look at. Is it your ammo or is it your firearm? Is something loose? Is your scope mount loose? Is your scope not mounted correctly? Is it on your fucking handguard instead of on the upper of your AR? Is your trigger fucked up? Is your barrel loose? Like, there's so many other variables that go into it. So you just give the rifle a quick shake, metaphorically speaking.
So are you saying the 12-inch dick I have hanging off the end of my gun doesn't?
As long as it is always there, it will consistently perform the same way.
But that's my gun charm. It
Then
just
it's fine.
hangs out up there.
Then it's fine, because as long as it's there, and every single time you shoot, the gun's going to do the same thing every single time.
Every time.
So you're totally fine with that.
Every time. I like to see the whip.
But then you look at the ammo, right? Is this some fucking discount bulk ammo shit that somebody was mill surplus from Yugoslavia?
Yeah.
No, because I've been there and it was.
Did you peel foil off the top of the box?
No, and so then I grabbed good ammo. Here, try running 5 rounds of this through it. Boom, 2-inch group.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
it makes a big difference.
There's your reason right there. It's not the gun. It's not the shooter. Your ammo sucks.
Yeah.
So I will also give you that pre-purchase. Look at what your dollar per squeeze is going to cost you if you're running decent ammo.
Which also comes back to like I run a really expensive gun.
Yes, you do.
And I run quality ammo.
Yes, you do.
$1.50 a round.
I only shoot 10 rounds a year.
When Caitlin went to competition and we decided on that, and that was a group conversation about what she was going to take. So how do we get the lightest weapon possible with the most accurate round that we could put her on? And we landed on that Valkyrie round.
Yeah.
It's $1.60 a squeeze for her to fire that weapon for ammo that doesn't suck. There's cheaper versions of the ammunition, but for ammunition we could count on, where we know it's not the round.
Yeah.
The round is doing everything it's supposed to be doing. So if we're not accurate,
the easiest way to put it for people to understand it is you're not going to take a race car and run it on an 87. And if you take your Honda Prelude and you put 91 in it, it doesn't make it go any faster.
Nope.
Wait. No,
Now he's gotta sell his Prelude.
If you do
He's
that, you
fucking
add a
mad.
couple stickers and a spoiler.
Well, first off,
but that's different though.
stickers
Okay.
are 5 horsepower.
They
Each
are.
sticker.
Yes.
Each
Yeah, and
sticker
a
is
spoiler
5
is a
horsepower.
minimum of 25, depending on how big it is.
Especially on a front wheel drive car.
Thank
you.
You put a
Thank you.
spoiler on a front wheel drive car.
But the same thing with a gun. You put a foregrip,
Yeah.
and you put angled 45-degree offset backup iron sights. Bro, that shit's gonna be accurate as
I
fuck.
put-
You
I
can
put-
hit 1,000 yards all day with that.
I put a spoiler on my AR.
Oh, fuck me. You just broke the fucking formula I've been looking for.
You got to put it on the front though. It helps with muzzle rise.
Right?
Helps force the weapon back down.
It's a reverse spoiler you put in just above and in front of the muzzle brake. Right?
I wonder if that would actually work.
It might.
I know, right? Like my brain just started working. I was like, oh wait,
There's one way to
you might
find
be
out.
onto
boys.
something.
Looking at muzzle brake shape and shit going like, wait a minute, if that gas actually blasted through the spoiler and then pulled the barrel down, then it might actually,
It would act like an airplane. Huh.
You fucking
Muzzle brakes
guys.
do work, folks. Like, I don't know what to tell
Muzzle
you.
brake works wonders.
Justin, I don't know why you took us down a gun topic today, but
I just wanted
Yeah.
to see the
Yeah, but
chaos
fuck you
ensue.
for it.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
fucking...
but no, I mean, if you're a new shooter and you already bought your gun, one, you already fucked up.
Yeah.
You already fucked up.
First off, don't get into the hobby. That's the first. If you're getting into it for self-defense, spend decent money so that you have a reliable weapon. There's brands out there. I'm not going to give any recommendations. That doesn't mean you guys can't, but there's brands out there that flat out are better than others. It's going to cost you more. It's for a reason.
But-
And you're not buying brand name, you're buying
Yeah.
So
reliability.
your argument's kind of like don't get into riding motorcycles. Because
I don't want to talk about this, John.
but no, but
You're
that's
done,
what
John.
it is. Because
I'm out, John.
It's the same
You
thing.
win. Whatever the topic is, you win. I'm out. I don't want to talk about it.
Because at some point in your life,
Fuck.
when you get into riding motorcycles, you don't just have one, and you always want something that's
They're
better.
like rabbits.
And then you always start to get accessories for it. Like it is a rabble. It's like race cars. It's like golf clubs. It's like anything that you do.
Yeah.
You're going to start it and you're going to buy the wrong thing 5 times.
Yep. That's why
And then
I
you're
have-
going to start to learn and then you're going to really figure it out. And then you're like, oh, well, if I really want to do this, I have to spend money. And it's with every hobby. It's with
Yeah.
anything you
Yeah.
ever do.
I
It's
bought
with
my
cars,
first bike in
bikes.
January, and there's 3 in my garage right now.
It's cars, bikes, fucking whatever. Give me a hobby. It's what it is. You know, like
So
drinking.
if you're
Drinking
gonna-
is the same fucking thing. You start
Flat
off
out,
drinking Jack Daniels.
if you're gonna
If
get
you
into
really
the
want
hobby,
a good hobby, fucking warfightertobacco.com.
Goddamn right.
That's where to go. Cigars are awesome. There's no downside.
and if you use the code FTFO, you get 15% off your
That's
order
right.
over there. Owellness.us. Freedom Friends 25 gets you a quarter off your order over there.
You start out with the dumpster fire, you end up smoking fucking victories. God damn it. It's a win-win though.
There we go.
What am I
It works
missing?
with every
Icy Tech
hobby.
coolers. Go over there and use code Freedom Friends 10. You get 10% off your order. And grillyourassoff.com/
Freedom Friends podcast.
Get a little discount over there. Other than that, I'm going to raise my glass.
Yeah.
Say thank you to you boys for being my freedom friends.
And go buy guns and shoot them.
Go buy guns.
And
Shoot the
cigars.
shit out of them. Even if you buy a shitty
It's a
one.
perishable skill.
Well, the good thing about guns is you can always trade it.
Yes.
Get a better one.
Yeah.
Dave knows. He does it
do.
every day.
All the time.
Sometimes he buys good ones and trades them for shitty ones.
I bought this
Sometimes I sell them to my boss.
I bought this hipster round. I don't want to shoot it anymore.
Hipster round. Those are called wildcats, sir.
Anyways, tell your mom.
Tell your friends.
Tell your fucking mom's friends that we will give you no solutions at all when you ask us a question. And
Yeah, I think we cleared everything up for him. Not at all.
we helped
Nobody.
zero. Yeah, that was absolutely the opposite of help.
Buy once, cry once.
Spend the money. Stick to the big boys. Don't buy budget guns. Like, that's all I'm going to say. Don't buy budget guns.
I'm not a hipster, but I was shooting 6.5 by 47 Lapua before 6.5 Creedmoor was even a thing.
It's true.
Do you need a spoon to get that sand out of your
Right?
clam, sir?
No, I shoot 6.5 Creedmoor now because it's factory.
That's why it's a hell of a round. Like,
Oh, that's a whole internet debate too. People
Oh,
hate
yeah.
on the old 6.5 Creed.
Oh, yeah, they do.
it's a hell of a round. Like, sorry, but it is. I will absolutely. I saw it on the internet. This is not my original thought, but 6.5 Creedmoor was good and it was here to stay when you could buy it at Walmart.
Yeah. I think that's true. With anything, any product.
If it is so fucking saturated that you can now buy it at Walmart, that's probably here to stay.
Yeah.
I'm not saying go buy your ammo from Walmart. I'm just saying
if it's the cheapest.
Know the brand. Anyways, 3 little things. We highly encourage it.
Yeah.
Whether you're shooting or not shooting.
Mm-hmm.
What's the first one, buddy?
Smoke on.
There you go, Scott.
Oh, drink on.
And goddamn it, boys.
Freedom the fuck on.